When you finally get the New Zealand visa, the excitement is real, so is the confusion. No one really tells you what actually needs to be done before leaving India. So in this video, I'm sharing what I did, what I didn't know, and what generally helped me settle faster, and also how would you prepare your first few days as soon as you get your visa. Resignation and time planning. Once your visa is approved, that's when you resign, not before. Things can change and it's just not worth the risk. So plan your notice period carefully and try to keep at least 1 full week free before flying out. Spend that time with your friends and family. You might not visit home again for a year or maybe longer depending on your budget and life in New Zealand. Flights are expensive, so make those last days count. Money, foreign exchange and financial safety. So if you're under the FTS requirement, your funds are already locked into your New Zealand account. Usually those are the ANZ bank accounts. But if you're someone which is not, then do some research. A few foreign exchange companies online. Rates change daily. So compare multiple options and choose what works for you. I'm not sponsored by anyone. So this is a decision. I leave it to you guys. Make yourself and see what is beneficial for you. If you haven't watched my cost of living in New Zealand videos, you can check them out. I've linked them below in the description, and they'll help you estimate monthly expenses, whether you're a student or a couple starting fresh. I've made 2 separate videos. You can check it out. If you're coming without a job or as a student, ideally carry 6 to 12 months of living expenses if possible, and always have a backup plan like savings back home or someone who can help if needed. And it's not negativity, it is just peace of mind. Indian bank accounts, very important, and one thing many people forget. So once you move abroad, your regular Indian savings account becomes technically becomes inactive, and though a lot of banks, they do keep them active, but before flying, check with your bank about converting it to NRE accounts for overseas earnings and NRO account for income in India, like rent or interest. You don't need to rush it immediately, but knowing this early saves a lot of hassle later. So go to your bank and check about the process and everything. Now, flights and baggage. Once you've known your travel dates, I would start tracking flight prices early as they rise fast. But if you're booking months in advance, I would say choose a flexible fare. A small extra fee can save you huge from cancellation charges. And I personally prefer Singapore Airlines. Again, this is not sponsored by anyone. Singapore Airlines, Qatar, Emirates, all are solid too. And if you're flying through Qatar, check their stopover program. You can explore Doha and get discounted hotels. I've made a separate video, like a full video on my Qatar layover. If you want to check it out, I'll put it in the link here as well. And lastly, also, if you're a student, check for those extra baggage allowance. Some airlines offer it, and maybe you get some extra additional allowance for your student visa, so go for it. Now, packing smart, not heavy. So New Zealand has very strict biosecurity rules. Everything gets scanned, so check the official New Zealand biosecurity website and be honest on your declaration. Now, even things like fruits or spices can get you fined, so it's not worth the risk. I'll just speak more about biosecurity here because बहुत सारे लोगों को ये पता नहीं, and they kind of get scared at the airport, and when the scanning happens, they tend to lie or say that they're not carrying so and so goods. But I would say just be honest. अगर आपने गलती से भी कुछ पैक कर लिया है, so that is fine, because even before you go to that counter, there's an option where you can declare and they will just simply discard those items which is not allowed in the country. But if you lie and if you say you're not carrying that, and if you get scared or whatever it is, you will get fined for that. So please don't do that. I know we come from country where अगर आप एक apple या एक fruit consider करोगे कि how can that be so serious. But just to give you a bit more of a context here, New Zealand protects the environment, and it's very serious issue. Like अगर आप बाहर से कोई भी fruit या कोई भी चीज़ ऐसी लाते हो, like raw meat या कोई भी चीज़ जो यहाँ का agriculture को spoil करेगा, that will cost them billions to get rid of those pest or anything which comes from a foreign land. So make sure you disclose whatever you carry, and please be honest. Don't try to hide anything. If you've got it by mistake, please disclose it, and they will just discard it on the in the biosecurity lane. So please follow those rules. You'll find most Indian groceries here, so slightly pricier but available. So don't fill your bags with those achar and papad. Save that space for essential stuff which is required. And for electronics, I would say compare prices, and laptops and gadgets are often better bought here, mainly because of the warranty support. So if you're planning to buy a laptop, I would suggest buy it from here. Now for clothes, bring warm layers, especially if you're arriving between June and September intake. And if you're coming in February, which is next month probably when this video comes out, or before that, it's summer over here, so you really don't need winter clothes. But do carry them because winter is not far away. But you usually get everything over here. You can shop later. Carry few clothes for your winter as well. Now, tailoring is a little bit expensive. I've hardly seen anyone having a tailored outfit over here. So if you need something which is tailor-made, I would say get it from India, because you would hardly find anything over here. Carry only a week's worth of toiletries. Everything is easily available here. Just for those starting days, if you want something, get it from home. Now, don't forget chargers, cables and adapters, which is very important. I forgot my own charger, so small things, but surprisingly expensive here. A Type-C or a normal iPhone charger would be expensive, so get those chargers. And buy a small luggage scale, so it saves a lot of stress at the airport. Make sure you get that scale and weigh your bag at home, so if you want to swap things around, you can do it easily. Now, document, SIM card and medicine. Always keep important documents like passport, visa, offer letter, degree copies in your handbag, and also carry one spare of clothes and essentials just in case your check-in baggage gets delayed. So keep those in your handbag, and scan and save digital copies of all your documents in your Google Drive or email. This backup can save your major headaches later on. And before leaving India, activate your international roaming on your Indian SIM card for at least the first few weeks. I would say you might need some OTPs and bank logins, which would be quite tricky to operate. So do that. And if you're on a regular medication, carry a few months supply with a doctor's prescription. And it's much easier than finding a GP immediately after landing. So that's my suggestion. And finally, before you go, take that extra evening with your people, your friends, your families. Those few hours will matter when you're far away and adjusting to a new life. Now, everything else will eventually fall into place, and your starting few days would be quite overwhelming, but that's very normal. Time with your family and friends, you don't get that back, so make sure you spend as much time as you can with them. And that's a real practical look at preparing to leave India for New Zealand, and not just the paperwork, but the little things that makes your first few weeks smoother here. If this helped, comment below and tell me what you're most nervous or excited about before your move, and I'd love to read them. And make sure you watch my other videos for cost of living and also the Qatar layover if you're planning to do that, and that will help you plan smarter. And like, subscribe and share this with someone who you know is planning to come to New Zealand from India. And I'll be making more content like this in future. And also I'll be coming up with a video for someone who's looking to settle in the first few days and what you need to do in the first few days when you come to New Zealand. So keep watching.